Now that we have STR Ui Goku in the data download, we know that he's going to be easying in 5 days, or basically when the countdown of the celebration or the anniversary will start. Let's go ahead and look at basically the units that are going to be easying in order, and we can kind of get like a rough understanding of when all that's going to happen, right? Because we have the physical Vegeta and STR Broly. Those are going to come out obviously in part 1. Then we have the EZAs. Then STR, and then also Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken gets an EZA. The free-to-play Gogeta gets an EZA. Then part 2 starts. We get to Beast Gohan and Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. And then the side grading unit as well. Sleepy Beerus EZA, another free-to-play EZA, MUI, and then Super Saiyan Blue Evolution to kind of end off the anniversary. And then we already got these guys, right? That being said, obviously there are some units that we just can't talk about right now just because we kind of have to wait to farm them, and the whole point of this video is to show you what you should farm and why you should farm them, especially because they're going to be so good. But let's just hop right into it, right? So we have STR Ui Goku, who's going to be dropping incredibly soon, obviously 5 days or 4 days from posting this. He has it where it's, I believe it's God Key. He gets 4 key and 150% attack and defense, or pretty good for I would say super, or no, I almost said Super Battle Road. Ultimate Clash, he gets 4 key and 100% attack and defense to Super STR, right? He gets 177% attack and defense at the start of turn. Then he gets, for the first 7 turns, he gets 4 key and a 70% chance of dodging attacks. And then afterwards, it just turns into a 50% chance of dodging attacks, right? Then for every Universe 7 category ally on the turn, he gets an additional 7% dodge chance until he is hit. So he has an 84% dodge chance until he is attacked. As the second that you get hit is when his dodge goes away, from what I've been told. And then if you avoid an attack, you get just an additional 77% defense permanent. But you get 77% attack, but it's only for that turn. So most of the time you obviously want to get you want to put this guy in slot 1 just so that way you can get the attack, obviously, but it's not like a crucial thing, right? And then every single time that you dodge, you get 1 key up to 7, and then 77 or 11% attack and defense and crit chance up to 77%, which is really good because it just means that you just build this guy full dodge, obviously, or full additional if you really want to max out his damage, right? His 12 key and 18 key are very, very good, especially his 18 key. But his 12 key raises his attack and defense for 1 turn, nullifies the opponent's guard, and then deals auto damage and greatly reduces defense. His 18 key just does greatly doing that, nullifying the opponent's guard as well, like how it was in pre-EZA. Then he also raises allies' attack by 50% for 1 turn. Again, most of the time you want to be putting this guy in slot 1 just because of this part of the passive right here, where dodging will give you 77% attack anyways. So, you know, it kind of makes sense, especially because if we kind of just like go forward real quick, and we'll come back to this, none of these characters, like especially Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, AGL MUI, these guys don't really want to be put in slot 1, or rather they don't have to be, right? There's no part of their kit similar to STR Ui where it's like, oh, you have to put this guy in slot 1. Sure, you can get extra attack and defense similar to STR Ui for getting evasions, but that doesn't mean that, you know, it's not like a thing that is needed, I guess you could say. Then we go into the next EZAs, like we were talking about. Let me just close this out. Like how we were talking about earlier, we got the STR Ui, then part 1 happens where you get the others. So let's go ahead and look at INT Paragus now. We'll go ahead and close out STR Ui. This unit is, I would say, very underrated. I'm not really sure why, because he can definitely cook for sure. I just don't really see a lot of people talk about him. But we'll talk about that, right? So he gets 150% attack and defense when he uses he does a super attack. And then he has a high chance of launching an additional super attack when he does a super attack, right? So already has a 50% chance of doing an additional super just by doing a super. Each time his super is activated, he gets an additional 26% damage reduction for that turn. If all allies are pure Saiyans, or in the it's not called combination, it's joined forces. If it's pure Saiyans or joined forces, they get 3 ki and 50% attack and defense. Again, extremely well for a pure Saiyan and a joined forces category, right? When enemies are of the pure Saiyan or superhero category are present, the user's morale is increased by 3, so you get an extra 3 ki. Your attack is increased by 180%, and there is a high chance that a special move will be activated. So we already got two 50% chances. Now you might have noticed something already. He can get 26% damage reduction with each super attack. He also increases his defense infinitely and decreases the enemy's attack. You guys seen something? You guys seen something a little bit? So he does, again, he does 26%. If you get the 50%, that's 52. If you get the other, because again, like literally every single part of the anniversary is either a pure Saiyan or superhero. So that's another 50%. So that is a 70. Is it 88 or is it 78? I think it's 88% damage reduction. No, it's 78. You get 78% damage reduction, and then if you do a super attack again with the hidden potential, you'll have 104% attacking or 104% damage reduction. This guy can literally be an unkillable support option for the team. That being said, his category sucks. He's literally on the only two that he supports. He's on Pure Saiyans and Joined Forces. The only category he's on. Because they didn't want to give this guy movie bosses for whatever fucking reason. But, yeah. Literally the only two. He also has a couple of other blinks as well that can just be very bad. But he does have Fierce Battle. He does have Prepared for Battle. He has Saiyan Warrior Race, you know, all that good stuff. Cold Judgment can also be good sometimes, but not really on Pure Saiyans, right? But again, this guy could definitely be like a very good support option. Then we have the big boy. We have Broly, cheelai, and Lemo. This is a very silly unit, and I will not lie, I am probably looking forward to this the most out of most of the EZAs. The other one probably being Paragus, just because I want to do testing for myself. This unit gets a massive increase from base to EZA, like absolutely insane. He gets 30% attack and defense right out the gate with any key sphere obtained. Getting physical key spheres will give you an additional 10% attack and defense. Anytime you get a key sphere in general will increase your ki by 2. If you get a speed would be... I'm assuming that's just agility, so that's AGL. AGL or STR gets 2 ki and 39% attack, and yeah, it's tech and will give you 2 ki and 39% defense, right? Attaining a rainbow key sphere will also increase all allies by 2 ki and 15% attack and defense. So you can get basically over 50%, like just a little bit over 50% attack and defense and 40%. Or I'm sorry, 4 ki when getting rainbow key sphere and like a tech and int, right? Anytime he uses, or I'm sorry, when he uses a 12 ki, he gets an additional 39% attack and defense. 39% attack, sorry, stumbling over my words today. If his ki is at 24, he gets an additional super guaranteed, and he gets an additional 10% damage reduction for all allies that are either in the movie bosses or super bosses category by, again, 10%. Again, you guys know how much I talked about Pathku and how insane he obviously was. And still is, just because of that 7% damage reduction. This is 10. And while it might not seem like a lot, and I can completely understand that, if we just go ahead and look at something real quick, right? Let's just go ahead and look at something. Here we go. let's say that you run this as a rotation, right? Okay. Let's say that you just run this as a rotation. And this unit is, for the first turn, getting 60% damage reduction. And then you get 50% if you get the 3 key spheres. And then because there's an additional super bosses category, because you're going to be running Broly cheelai, you're going to get an additional 20% damage reduction. That means that this unit, on the first turn, with Broly, cheelai, and lemo, will have a 90% damage reduction. The second that they go from 5th turn onwards, it will be 70%. And then before that, or I guess after that, oh wait, no, I did it out of order, excuse me. So his first turn will have it where it will be 90% damage reduction with Broly, cheelai, and lemo. Then it'll be 80 once you get the 50% damage reduction. And then after that, when he's literally at his lowest, you'll have it where it's at 70% damage reduction. Obviously, that is super insane considering that this guy also gives support, right? So like pairing these units together is obviously extremely good. The only thing you have to really worry about is links, obviously. Then he has a 50% chance of dodging just any attack. If, just like how it was before, if you get 7 or more T-spheres, you get to dodge everything. If your HP is 60% or below, you transform one type of any orb into a physical orb, but obviously one that is not already a physical orb. And then if your HP is at 39% or below, all of your orbs will turn into physical. Now, again, not to pull out the list, but if we go ahead and look at the unit who literally just dropped not too long ago, right here. I've seen some silly clips with this funny fellow, where all you literally do is put this guy slot 1, and he's at like 4+ million defense. He can be in again, and if you, as long as you can get 7 key spheres as well, this guy's automatically dodging as well, right? And you're also giving him 10% damage reduction as well. Yeah, Broly, cheelai, and lemo is insane. Yeah, they also greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn on their 12 key, and then greatly lower attack. As we're seeing a lot of these bosses start having it where we can do debuffs to them, it is obviously very good. Then I think their 18 key just massively raises their attack and defense for 1 turn. The defense isn't even, like, it doesn't really matter. It's always going to just be good enough where you could most likely tank normals. You just have to dodge the super, and 9 times out of 10 they're going to be able to. Whether it's just be because you get the orbs that you need, or it's just because you're going to get the high chance to dodge, right? Bardock and Gine is probably maybe the worst out of this bunch. I think you could probably argue that. Yeah. I think that it's fair to say this is the worst out of the bunch. So they get 122% attack and defense at the start of turn. If there's a Goku on the team, you get 4 key and 122% attack and defense. And at the start of turn, if you are below 50% HP, your HP is restored by 22% only 1 time. When there is another pond of parent and child category participating in the turn, you get an additional 122% attack and defense when doing a super attack. When enemies are on the movie bosses category, your attack is increased by 22%. And if that boss that you're facing is, or if that enemy that you're facing is Frieza, you also get an additional 4 key, 122% attack, and you get a crit guaranteed. The only thing that can really help out is this unit, or the only thing that could really help out is this active skill. So what happens is they get 22% attack for 2 turns for all allies, but they cure abnormal status effects. A lot of what makes some of these missions and events really hard is the fact that the events just lock your rotations, they seal them, they stun them, they do all of this nonsense to these units, right? And it obviously hurts the units a lot. You can't miss some of this stuff, and you have to just work with what you're working with. It's gonna hurt for sure. This stuff is going to kill your team. If you get some unit locked in slot 1 that you don't want to. So having this in your back pocket is pretty good. Only issue is that it's only below 80% HP. So you can't just activate it whenever. Still not bad though. And then their super attack just makes it where they, I think they massively raised attack and defense for 1 turn because it was also greatly before. But they also have it where when doing the super attack, you also raise attack and defense of all allies, except for yourself, by 22% for 2 turns. If you get 2 supers on this, that means you can increase the attack and defense by 44% of all allies. That's insane. That's like Bulma good in terms of the actual support, right? The links are to be desired, but again, Cold Judgment, you know, Saiyan Warrior race is obviously gonna always gonna be good. Fierce Battle, Prepared for Battle, all that good stuff, right? But again, this is probably the weakest out of the units, but even then, it's not like they don't have a use, for sure. This unit is obviously very good too. Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku and Vegeta get 4 key, 170% attack and defense when there's another superhero category ally in the turn. 1 orb will be transformed randomly into a rainbow key sphere. Each time you get a rainbow key sphere, you get 2 key. You also get 7% attack and defense for any key sphere that you get. For each rainbow key sphere, your critical rate and damage reduction will be increased by 7% for the turn, and you will get an additional attack that has a 50% chance to be a super, maximum of 3 times per turn. The additional attacks are the ones that will be the 3 attacks, but you can still increase your critical and damage rate over the 7%, or I guess the 21%. That one's not maximum of 3 times per turn. When the key sphere is 18 or above, you also increase your attack by 70% and then defense by 70%. And when the key sphere is 24, you get a crit guaranteed, and if your HP is 50% or below, you also take 70% damage reduction once. The reason why is because if you are below 50% HP, you can activate this at any time, by the way, as well as you're below 50% HP. You will get 24 key, you get 70% attack up, but you lose 50% of your defense. Keep in mind, this is not like, oh, I go from 170% defense to 120. This is, I go from 170% defense to, like, is it 85? Yeah, it's 85. I go to 85% attack, or 85% defense. Sorry, not attack. So keep that in mind. However, that's the reason why they gave this unit damage reduction, 70%. Because their defense is going to dip, but the damage reduction should be able to save them. As long as you're able to get that 2 or 3 key spheres that are rainbow, you'll probably be fine. Because you'll have like 77, 84, 91% damage reduction, right? Especially because you want to be putting this unit in slot 2 anyways. And then you can massively raise your attack and defense here, greatly raise your attack and defense here, lower attack and defense here, and greatly lower attack and defense here, right? Obviously very good links too. Then we get to the final 2 EZAs. AGL, MUI Goku, and Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. I'm sure you don't need me to talk about these units. You've probably seen too many clips of them at this point, so I'll try to keep it short. They get 200% attack and defense. They get additional attack and defense. You know what? I'm going to talk about both of them because they're literally copy and paste with most of this stuff. So both units get 200% attack and defense. Both units have a turn 1 sort of like passive. So MUI Goku gets guaranteed dodge. Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta gets guarding all attacks. They both get 7 key. Yeah, right here they kind of like swapped it over. When HP is 77% or above, I'm assuming, and it increases attack and defense by 77%. 77% chance of getting an additional super attack. Again, it's literally just the same thing. MUI has a 77% chance of avoiding an attack. However, Super Saiyan Blue Evolution has 50% damage reduction and then can get up to 80% with each attack that he's received. It does reset at the end of the turn though, so you will need to like build that up again. Each time that Vegeta attacks and each time that MUI Goku dodges, they both get key attack and, or I'm sorry, just key and defense. Oh, I didn't even know that part. So MUI Goku gets key and defense. Vegeta gets key, attack, and defense every single time that he attacks. Vegeta has it where when he activates his active skill or when his key is 24, he gets an additional 77% attack and his crits are guaranteed. Same thing again for Goku. Anytime he gets the 24 key or if he has the active skill pop, he's going to get this attack and crits guaranteed. If you have been hit 5 or more times in battle with Vegeta, no more HP condition. He just has it where he can get his revive at any point, and anyone he can die on the turn and he'll get the revive. Goku is just whenever you are below 77% HP, he can have it happen as well. If Goku has it or Vegeta has it where any ally just gets their revive, you'll get 7 key and 77% attack and defense. When Goku gets his revive, the next turn that he shows up, he will avoid all attacks for the turn. He will dodge all of them. If Vegeta gets his revive procced, the next time he shows up, he will get the guard just for 1 turn. So basically, it's just like I said, it's very copy and paste. Even the 12 key and 18 key are the same, right? And I even think that the active skill conditions too, right? Yeah, 4th key. 4th key. 4th turn when HP is 50% or more. They get it where they do basically the same thing, right? Again, not really much to say about these units. They're obviously number 2 and 3 when they drop on global, so maybe even 1 and 2. Yeah, I think no, because it would be after beast drops, so they would be 2 and 3 when they drop on global. The active skill is obviously going to hurt a little bit more for Goku just because he gets a temporarily raising attack while Vegeta just does the damage to all the enemies. Will definitely be better in something like Super Battle Road, but for everything else it'll be better in Goku's favor. If we go ahead and scroll down here, Goku gets again the same thing, greatly raising attack. Vegeta greatly raises defense. They both have it where they will give crit chance by 7% for 1 turn. Then the 18 key is again slightly different. You get massively raising attack for 1 turn, lots of damage to the opponent, high chance to crit for 1 turn. Same thing, high chance to crit for 1 turn, increases allies crit rate by 7% for 2 turns. So if you literally have this on rotation where it's just like MUI Goku slot 1, Super Saiyan Blue Evolution slot 2, you'll have a permanent 14% crit chance. And then for that rotation, you'll have how much? I guess if you could get pretty lucky, we'll say that you get 1 additional attack guaranteed for both. So you'll have 28% crit chance additionally for that turn. And then, yeah, I think that's about it. Other than that, yeah. There is one more thing I do want to talk about. Something that we don't know, but I'd rather get this out now before it does happen. So we already have the is it able to check like all the super easy areas? I don't think it's possible to do that, to just check like every single super easy A. Yeah, I don't know how to do it, but if we go ahead and look on the global version, let me just swap the settings over real quick. We go ahead and check on the global version. We obviously just got the tech Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks like literally just now, right? That being said, we are now completely caught up on the super easy A's in total. Physical Goku Black just came out on JP and Global got it like a week or 2 later, right? That being said, while this video is going to go out and we're probably going to see the info for whatever the super easy A is going to be next, pay attention to that. Make sure that you are on top of that, because if it is not announced on Global in like the same week or so, I guarantee you it will be announced during the anniversary. Whether it's in part 3, part EX, part whatever, make sure you have that unit link 10 as well. Now, I could go ahead and try and make ramblings of what units that it's going to be, and I could be like, oh, let's go to categories, oh, let's go to Universal Lava Saga, and be like, okay, well, you guys should do this unit and this unit, but it's gonna be like a very difficult time for me to try to do that, right? Like, I don't even know. Probably Jiren. I'll probably start link leveling Jiren. Yeah, Jiren and Golden Frieza. I think those would be my 2 picks. But yeah, one of these is going to be easy A's that we're obviously going to see. But if we're specifically talking about super easy A's, right? I would expect something in a data download soon enough, right? I guess it would, for like super easy A's, is the oldest unit just like Go Frieza? No, it would be like UI Goku. Where's INT UI? Where is he? There he is. So yeah, I would expect something like INT UI to get his announcement for an easy A. So I would do something like that. Start link leveling that unit too while we're at it. Right. But other than that, hopefully you guys did find this a little bit informative. Hope you guys all have a great rest of your week as always. If you guys did like the video, if you guys found it insightful at all, like, comment, subscribe, really helps out the channel a lot. It makes me smile a little bit more, you know, all that good stuff. Thank you as always for being a member. Thank you as always, all of you guys, for making it this far. Yeah, like I said, hope you guys all have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.